Operation Joint Guardian. In the immediate aftermath of the Kosovo War in 1999, the region was a humanitarian and political disaster zone. Ethnic Albanians returned to a land scarred by mass graves, burned villages, and landmines, while Serbs fled in fear of reprisal. The province teetered on the edge of total collapse. Lawlessness reigned. There was no functioning government, no police, and no justice. Into this chaos stepped NATO, launching Operation Joint Guardian, the ground deployment of the Kosovo Force, or KFOR. It was one of NATO's largest and most challenging peacekeeping missions, tasked with securing a province on the brink. On June 12, 1999, just days after the end of NATO's air campaign against Yugoslavia, the first NATO troops rolled across the border into Kosovo. Their mission was urgent: restore peace and security, ensure the safe return of refugees, disarm the Kosovo Liberation Army, and prevent a resurgence of violence between ethnic Albanians and Serbs. But this wasn't just about boots on the ground. It was about rebuilding a shattered society under international oversight. Over 50,000 NATO troops from across the alliance deployed at lightning speed. They fanned out across towns, cities, and countryside, establishing checkpoints, seizing weapons caches, and intervening in outbreaks of violence. In the early days, NATO forces were stretched thin, trying to keep a lid on revenge attacks while stabilizing law and order in a society where government institutions had completely disappeared. Joint Guardian quickly became more than a military mission. It became the backbone of the international presence in Kosovo. Working alongside the United Nations Interim Administration Mission in Kosovo, UNMIK, and numerous humanitarian organizations, NATO troops protected aid convoys, guarded religious and cultural sites, and escorted vulnerable populations. In many areas, they were the only authority that existed. Disarmament was a central task. The Kosovo Liberation Army, now disbanded, had to surrender weapons and transition into civil society. At the same time, former Yugoslav forces had withdrawn, leaving behind both destruction and distrust. NATO took on the difficult job of standing between communities that had suffered deeply and trusted no one, not each other, and certainly not outsiders. Over time, KFOR helped train local police, assisted in setting up provisional institutions, and gradually transferred responsibility to civilian authorities. As the security situation improved, troop numbers were reduced, but NATO maintained a robust presence to deter any return to conflict. The alliance continued to adapt the mission to reflect political realities, particularly after Kosovo's declaration of independence in 2008, a move not recognized by Serbia and several other countries, but fully supported by others within NATO. Operation Joint Guardian was not without its difficulties. Tensions periodically flared, most notably during riots in 2004 and violent protests at Kosovo's northern border. In each case, NATO forces played a crucial role in restoring order and preventing a wider breakdown. Their neutrality, professionalism, and rapid response capabilities were instrumental in preventing bloodshed and preserving a fragile peace. Today, Joint Guardian remains one of NATO's longest-running operations. Though the scale is smaller, the mission endures because the risk of renewed conflict still lingers. It is a mission of presence, deterrence, and commitment. NATO remains in Kosovo not as an occupier, but as a guarantor of stability in one of Europe's most sensitive regions. Operation Joint Guardian showed what NATO could accomplish not with overwhelming firepower, but with persistence, partnership, and patience. It was about building trust, defending peace, and standing firm in the face of uncertainty. In a land where war had once silenced every voice, NATO helped restore order. One patrol, one village, one act of protection at a time.